Welcome guys to Picama Stitches. Today we're going to be making this beautiful dress I saw on Judify page. Now this is the zipper. I'm going to be fixing zipper to mine. I have 1 yard of this blue fabric and 2 yards of this other fabric. Now we're going to be combining these two together. Let's get right into cutting. So guys, I have my fabric folded into 4. We have 2 pieces for the front and 2 pieces for the back. The length of the upper part is 31 inches plus hemming allowance. Now the front is shorter than the back. For the back, because of the zipper allowance, I had to add 2 inches for zipper allowance. And note all our measurements are going to be starting from this front, the folded part of the front piece. Now what will guide your fold is the biggest part of your body, which is my hips, divided by 4 plus minimum 3 inches, okay, depending on how free you want it to be on you. So let's go ahead and start marking. Remember, our markings are starting from this front folded part, not the zipper allowance. So I'll go ahead to mark my shoulder divided by 2, that's 8 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and mark the 3 inches normal neck measurement. We're going to modify that later. Now I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope at that 8-inch mark, and then I'll connect it in a slanted manner to meet my 3 inches neck width, okay? After connecting that from the top here, I'm going to mark my shoulder to bust measurement, which for me is 11.5 inches. My shoulder to waist measurement, which is 18.5 inches. And then from my waist, I'm going to come down by 9 inches for my hip measurement. Okay, so go ahead and use your own measurement. And then the other part is the full length of my dress. Okay. Remember, I'm going to be using 31 inches is to join the lower part. So from this slanted part, I'm going to mark my chest line, which is 6. Your round bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. So whatever you have, that is your chest measurement. Now, after getting that, you mark the same 8 inches you marked at the shoulder and connect it into a straight line. Now go ahead and locate the midpoint of this your chest line. For me is 4.5. Now for my front armhole, I'm going to be using 0.75 since I'm a plus size, okay? But for a slimmer person, you can do half of an inch. At that chest line, I'm going to be marking my bust measurement divided by 4, so it will serve as a guide for me. Go ahead and connect your armhole. Can you see the way I'm connecting it? So this is my front armhole, 0.75, and then you connect. Remember, all our measurements are starting from this front folded part, okay? From the front folded part. Do not include the zipper allowance. Now at the waist, I'm going to go ahead and mark my waist measurement divided by 4 plus half an inch for ease. I'm still going to add ease later, but I want this to be so free. You can see the dress is not a fitted dress. Now at the hip point here, I'm going to be marking my hip measurement divided by 4, and I'm going to take that same measurement to the hem of the upper segment of this dress. This dress is going to be divided by 2. There's going to be a joining at the lower part. So this is the upper segment. Now I'm going to be adding 1.5 inch sewing allowance, half an inch for ease, 1 inch for my sewing allowance. You can decide to do 2 inches, 1 inch for ease, 1 inch for sewing allowance. Depends on how much fabric you have to play around with. So I'm going ahead to connect my 1.5 inch all the way to the bust point. Okay, so whatever allowance you feel is fine with you, you can go ahead and use it, but I used 1.5 inch. Okay, so go ahead and connect all the lines together. Can you see what we have? 1.5 inch sewing allowance from the hem to the top part. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead now and modify our neckline. So we're going to go ahead and modify the neckline. I'm going to be using 3.75 by 1.5 for the back. I'm using 1.5 inch for the back neckline, and then for the front neckline I'm also going to be using 3.75. So it depends on you. You can see that the neckline is high. Okay, it's a high neckline, so I'm using 3.75 by 3.75, and then for the back I'm using 1.5 inches. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and connect this out. Then we're going to remove any form of zipper bulge. So at the waistline, I'm going to extend the waist into the zipper allowance. Remember, my zipper allowance is 2 inches. So I'm going to go inwards by 1 inch at the waist, and then I'll slant it back to the neckline, and then I'll slant it at the lower part to the hem of the dress. Okay, just watch how I'm doing it and you're going to get it. I subtracted 1 inch at the waistline. So the waistline is 1 inch, every other part remains the same. Okay, so that's it. My back armhole is going to remain the same, or you can go ahead and take out half of an inch from the back armhole. So that's it. We're going to go ahead and cut this out. Okay, remember this dress is going to be divided into two. Everything we're going to be cutting now, we're going to be cutting the back neckline, the back armhole. When you're done, you go ahead and modify the front. Now add quarter or half of an inch to your shoulder for joining. Okay, the full length of my dress is going to be 40 inches. So 30 inches is going to be for the upper part, then 10 inches is going to be for the lower part. That's the attachment we're going to be adding to the lower part. So when making your, subtract whatever you want for the upper part and the lower part, but ensure that the lower part is shorter and smaller than the upper part. Okay, the upper part needs to be minimum 3 inches lower than your hip point. Okay, come down 3 inches from your hip point. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so go ahead and cut it out. I'm cutting out the back piece now, and we're done with the upper part. It's as simple as that. Okay, I'll go ahead and cut out my neckline for the front. So can you see our zipper part now at the back, well relaxed? Go ahead and notch your zip point so you don't get confused. Okay, so I'm notching my zipper allowance point now. Now align the lower part, let it be straight. It has to be straight and equal. Any fraying fabric, you can cut it out. Okay, let your work be neat. So I'll go ahead now and cut out the front neckline. Lift the front. Please be careful while doing this so you don't cut the back neckline as well. Okay, I'll go ahead and cut out the front. Now I had to show us this after cutting. Can you see my neck width here is not well aligned? So go ahead and ensure everything is well aligned. Every little detail, every little mistake can alter your beautiful work. Okay, so I'm going ahead to align the shoulder part. Can you see what we have there? So I'm going to be using facing for mine. So if you want to use bias tape to turn your neckline, it's absolutely your choice. So from the armhole part, I'm going to mark down 8 inches, and I'm going to notch that point for my pocket. That's where my pocket is going to be starting from. So if you want to attach pockets from your armhole line, go down by 7 to 8 inches is fine. So for my facing, I've gone ahead to fold this fabric into two. Make sure it's on fold, like the front is on fold. Okay, it won't be open. It has to be on fold. Make sure the shoulder is well relaxed. I've done so many tutorials on facing. Okay, so you should be acquainted with this. Go ahead and cut out the neckline the exact way, and then we're going to slant our shoulder the exact way as well. The main fabric shoulder is, but we're going to be subtracting half of an inch from the facing because we don't want the shoulder joining of the armhole to match up with that of the main fabric, so it doesn't disturb us when we're joining the sleeves to it. Okay, but if you want yours to go all the way, there's another method you can go about that. But for this particular dress we're making, we're going to be subtracting 1 inch. And then the length of my facing is going to be 4.5 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that 4.5 inch round. But at the shoulder, I'm going to be subtracting 1 inch, or you can subtract half of an inch. Okay, so go ahead and mark the 4.5 round and then connect. And then I'm going to cut out. Our front facing is ready. Okay, it's as simple as that. Please, if you watch this tutorial up to this point, please kindly like, share and subscribe. Okay, this really helps the channel to grow. Thank you guys. Okay, please right now just click the like button. Thank you. Okay, so we're done with the front facing. I'm still going to be using this fabric for the back facing, so I'm going to trim it off and ensure it is straight. Now for the back facing, the center back can be open. Remember, the center back, because of the zipper, is opened. Okay, but for the front facing it has to be on fold. So now you're going to bring in the back and align it. Okay, align it as well. Make sure the shoulder is laying flat. Okay, go ahead and trim the neckline as well. Make sure it's well aligned. Trim off the neckline, trim off the shoulder. You're also going to be subtracting 1 inch. So go ahead and subtract 1 inch as well. Okay. Now I'm going to trim the center back of my facing for it to be equal with the center back of the main fabric. Now I'm taking out the main fabric. I'm going to be marking from the neckline as well 4.5 inches, the same way we did for the front, so everything is well aligned. So I'm marking my 4.5 inch round from the neckline, but at the shoulder I'm going to be subtracting 1 inch, or you can subtract half of an inch. Okay, at the shoulder part, and then go ahead and connect. Now you can decide to add stay to this your facing to give it more structure. Okay, but I won't be doing that. Okay, go ahead and cut it out, and we're also done with the back facing. So it's as simple as that. If you don't want to use facing, you can go ahead and use bias tape, okay, to tape your neckline. But I'm doing this method because there's a trick of turning our back neatly that I want to show us in this tutorial. Okay, so after cutting everything out, you're going to bring in your facing. Okay, you're going to place it right sides facing each other, and then you're going to stitch round the neckline, turn it and top stitch towards the lining. Okay, and then for the back, I'm going to show us a different way to do this for your zipper to be neat. Okay, now you're going to place your back piece right sides facing each other. Make sure everything is well aligned. Right sides facing each other. Please, you can remove your facing as sides. We're not using our facing for now. Okay, I had pinned mine, but I'm not going to be sewing my facing. Okay, so you're going to bring in your zipper from your shoulder, from your neckline to where your zipper ends. You're going to close up the lower part with 1 inch sewing allowance, or whatever sewing allowance you left. Okay, from the upper part, please do not sew in the facing. So this is what I meant. I've closed the lower part and I've fixed in my zipper. You can see my facing is not fixed. Can you see that? I've not sewn in my facing, and the zipper has come out as extended on the neckline. Can you see what we have here? Okay, so I'm going to show us this method of turning your neckline neatly with your zipper. So bring in your facing now. What you're going to do is you're going to bring in the sewing allowance, the zipper allowance, everything concerning the neckline. And then you're going to place your facing right sides facing each other. Okay, you're going to sew across the zipper teeth. So from where you have your first stitch, where you sewed down your zipper, you can turn it to the other side so you can follow the stitch line. You're going to stitch very close to your zipper teeth, okay? You sew from the lower part, okay? Sew from the lower part wherever your facing stops. Can you see what I have here? Sew very close to the zipper teeth. Sew on the sewing allowance across to the zipper to the neckline. Please watch what I'm doing. So from that part, you can pin it down, okay? You have to sew close to the zipper teeth so it will come out neat. Sew all the way, sew across the zipper teeth and sew your neckline, okay? I hope you understand. So go ahead and do same for the other parts, okay? I'm going to do same to this other neckline as well. And then when you're done, this is what you're going to have. This is our front neckline. I've sewn it down. I've not ironed this yet. I'm going to go ahead and iron this out neatly. And then for our back piece, can you see what we have here? Okay, I didn't turn this over. I wanted us to see what we have. Can you see what we have here? The zipper is still shooting out, but I sewed across it. So look closely. I brought this up close for you to see. I sewed very close to the zipper teeth and I sewed across the zipper on the neckline, just the neckline, okay? So I'm going to go now and cut, sorry guys, cut the excess of the zipper out, and then you can go ahead and trim very close so you don't want the seam there to be bulky, okay? So that it won't puff. I went ahead to trim my sewing allowance very little, and then I'm going to notch that point where your zipper was. Notch it so it will relax neatly, and then notch the neckline. Okay, I went ahead to show us this. I'm taking my time to show us this so we can get this well. This will give your work a very neat finish. Whether you're using lining or not, you will have a beautiful finish at your neckline. So I've gone ahead to notch both sides, and then make sure the fabric is not bulky. Can you see I'm still going to trim off a bit? Make sure I don't cut through your seam, but just notch for it to lay flat when you turn it out. Okay, so I've gone ahead to turn this out. Can you see what we have? This is so neat. This is so beautiful, okay? So go ahead and try this method and tell me in the comments how yours comes out. And I know it will come out beautiful. Can you see? See what we have? Both front and back so neat, okay? So I've gone ahead to do same for this other part. I'm turning it out right now. I'll go ahead and iron this out later. Can you see what we have? So when you zip it up, it's so neat, so beautiful. Can you see? I'll iron this much later. Now when you turn it to the wrong side, it will be as neat as the front piece. And our zipper is sitting pretty. Can you see? Well aligned and neatly finished. So I took my time to show us this because it's a neat finished work, okay? So now we're going to go ahead and cut out our pockets. I'm going to show us a very simple method to cut out your pocket, okay? Inseam pocket. So there is no much calculations. This tutorial, I just want us to learn many simple tricks. So just lay your 5 fingers, okay, and give some allowance at the top. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay, and just make sure at the opening there you have minimum 7 to 8 inches for your pocket opening, okay? So when I measure this, I have 7.5 inches, which is perfect for my pocket opening, and the length here is 10 inches. Can you see? I'm going to lay these two to cut out another two for the other side of the pocket. Remember, you need 4 pieces of this for your pocket, 2 on the front, 2 on the back. So I'm placing these two to cut out another 2 pieces for the other pocket parts. And as simple as that, you're done cutting out your pocket. Please, if you watched up to this point and you've not liked, please kindly like and subscribe for more interesting and freehand easy tutorials. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for liking. So we have 4 pieces of this. Okay, we're going to go ahead and attach this to our main piece. So you're going to bring in your main piece. This is my back piece. Okay, now remember we notched where we wanted our pockets to start from. So from that notched point, okay, you're going to place the right sides of the pocket to the right side of the fabric and stitch it straight down. Okay, place this other one at the other part, right sides facing each other, and stitch it straight down. Okay, we're going to repeat the same thing to the front part of the fabric. This other two is for the front. You do the same thing before we go ahead to join. So guys, can you see what we have? I've gone ahead to attach my pockets. Okay, our dress is gradually coming together. So we're going to bring in the front piece and lay it on the back piece, right sides facing each other. We're going to be turning the shoulder lines first, the shoulder seam, sorry. So place it right sides facing each other. You're going to use one piece of the fabric to turn every other piece around. I've done this a lot on my channel, so if you've been watching my tutorial, you should know how to do this. Okay, and after turning the shoulder, sorry, align the side seams and the pocket. Sew down with your sewing allowance into the pocket down to the hem. Just follow the way I'm showing you in the video, but at the lower part ensure you leave out 1 inch. Do not close it all the way to the lower part. Leave out 1 inch because we're going to be attaching another fabric to the lower part. Okay, so I'm going to be stitching 1 inch round into the pocket. I'll do same for the other side. Now this is what we have. Our dress is so beautiful. I can't wait to rock this. So I left the 1 inch on both sides like I said we should. Okay, and this is my pockets. These are my pockets sitting pretty. Can you see? This is nice. And this is our neckline. So neat and beautiful. This is our back. Can you see what we have? So beautiful and well relaxed. So go ahead and give it a good press. Okay, so what we'll be doing next, we'll go ahead and measure your armhole round because we're going to go ahead and cut out our sleeves. So I have here 11.5 inches plus 1 inch sewing allowance, so that will be 12.5. So I have this long fabric. Okay, I folded it into two. I'm going to fold it into two again, making 4 folds. Okay, the folded part is going to be the center. We're cutting out the both sleeves at the same time. Okay, so after folding, I'm just going to use a free hand. If you need a detailed tutorial on how to cut a sleeve, just let me know in the comment section. So the sleeve as well is going to be divided into two. Remember, we're attaching fabric to it. So from the top to the first part of the sleeve for me is 13.5 inches. Okay, now the full length of my sleeve is going to be 26 inches plus hemming allowance. So I'll go ahead and cross check this armhole part to be sure I have my 12.5 and I have exactly what I need. It's a free sleeve, so I'm going to be marking my armhole round plus 1.5 inch. Okay, I want it to be that free. I'm taking it straight down. We're not shaping it. It's a free sleeve. It's not fitted. Okay, so meaning the upper part of my sleeve is going to be 12 inches. Okay, half an inch will be to attach the lower part to it. Do you understand? And then the remaining part, we're going to complete it with the fabric we're combining it with to make up the full length of the sleeve. I hope you understand. So go ahead and notch the midpoints. We have our two sleeves in place now for the upper part of the sleeve. Okay, I hope you understand. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in the other fabric to make up the remaining parts of our sleeve. So for this part, I also have a wide fabric. Can you see what we have? A wide fabric folded into two. I'm going to go ahead and fold it again into four because we're cutting two as well for the both sleeves. Okay, So go ahead and fold yours neatly. Please, any part you do not get, if I'm too fast, go ahead and rewatch. But I think this should be simple enough. I'm going ahead to trim this upper part so everything lays flat and straight. Overlap by half of an inch. Remember, we're going to be joining by half of an inch. So I'm laying the upper sleeve on this lower sleeve by half of an inch, which is going to be our sewing allowance to join them together. So from the top, I'm remeasuring my sleeve to ensure I have the full length that I need. So can you see what we have? I'm marking 27 inches. 1 inch will be for sewing allowance, okay? Then I'm going ahead to align the part and slant it out in an A-line shape. I'm trying to manage my fabric, but if you have enough fabric, you can create more flare at the lower part. So slant it like an A-line, okay? Just slant it the way you see me do. So go ahead and cut, and you're done with the sleeve. It's as simple as that. And then you cut it out. If you have enough fabric, please go ahead and make yours bigger, but ensure this part where you're going to be joining is aligning. Okay, can you see what we have there? And our sleeve is ready. Ensure it is overlapping by half of an inch because you're going to join them together to make up one sleeve. I hope you understand this, okay? Now, if you want a little bit of slant at the edge here, because you don't want it to be pointy, you can go up by 1 inch and slant it at the edge like I just did here, okay? It's as simple as that. And you're done with your sleeve. So I'm going to measure this again. So I have 26 inches. My full length of sleeve is going to be 25. 1 inch will be for hemming. So when we open this up, we have two sleeves, one for the right side, one for the left side, same with the lower part. So we're going to do this now. You're going to open up right sides facing each other, okay? Right sides of the sleeve. You're going to place the lower part above the upper part, right sides facing each other. And you're going to join it with the half of an inch that we left to make one sleeve. Can you see now? After joining them together to make one sleeve, hem the lower part of the sleeve, fold it together and shape the sides and attach to your dress. I'll do same for the other side. Now this is what we have. I'm loving this dress already. I'm telling you guys, and I'm appreciating the combination. Please tell me in the comments if you love the fabric combo, okay? Can you see what we have? Our sleeve laid out. So if I had more fabric, I would have done it. I would have made it flay out some more, okay? I've attached to the other part. I'm going to give this a good press much later. So the final part now, you're going to be measuring the lower part of your dress, okay? So at the lower part, for us to know the amount of fabric to attach. So at this lower part, I have 23 inches. Now I'm going to be cutting out 25-inch fabric because of the 1-inch sewing allowance on both sides. I've gone ahead to hem the lower part of this fabric, and the length is 10.5 inches. Half of an inch will be to attach it to this upper part, and then 10 inches the actual length that I need. Remember, the full length of my dress is 40 inches. So 30 inches for this upper part and 10 inch to make up the 40 inches. Okay, so remember the 1 inch I asked us to leave at the sides, the opening. You're going to bring this lower part and place them right sides facing each other. Okay, right sides facing each other, and you're going to open it from the seam allowance. That's why I said I'm cutting out 25 plus the seam allowance. And then I'm going to join them by half of an inch to the other part. I'm going to attach this other side as well. So we're cutting out two pieces for both front and back. I'll attach the same at the back for the other piece. And then I'll join the sides together. And after joining, please give this video a thumbs up. Please, right now, just like. Please, I beg of you. It encourages me to take out time to make videos. Now, ensure this side seam aligns, okay? Let your work always come out neat. And this is our beautiful dress. It's so beautiful. I'm rocking this out tomorrow. Please kindly try yours and tell me in the comments how yours comes out, okay? Can you see what we have here? So beautiful. I'm going to weave this much later. Please give this video a thumbs up and give it a like. I really appreciate you guys, and kindly subscribe. Look at our sleeves and look at the hem of the fabric. This is the back piece looking so beautiful. Now this is our front piece. I'm going to iron this again, okay? This is so neat, okay? It doesn't even look as though it was joined, okay? There are fabrics that comes with two pattern. If you have that, fine, but if you don't, you can always create your own beautiful piece. Thank you so much, guys, for stopping by for today's tutorial. Please kindly like, share, subscribe for more interesting tutorial. Till I see you guys next time. Bye bye. Thank you, guys.